Alrighty. So this is my 2006 Subaru Impreza Hatchback. It's the base model 2.5i, not the turbocharged WRX. It is currently lifted 2 inches with the Forester struts, and with the tires it's about maybe another inch, half an inch or so. I've mostly done cosmetic things to the car, like the lift. I did headlights, I added the pod lights. There's a full stereo inside with a sub in the back, all new speakers all the way around with an amp. And that's about it. I've mostly done maintenance to the car just to keep it super reliable, which it has been. So today we're going to be tackling the inner fender liner for this side. Once I get the wheel off and the car is up in the air, I'll show you what's going on. But whenever I turn the wheel inwards and I reverse, it's catching on the tire and it's making a really awful noise. We're going to address that, and I have a power steering pump for it. The pump's not bad, but I just want to do it so it's original to the car and I don't have to worry about it.
LXST.
So the first thing I gotta do is take out all these old clips. I have a bunch of new clips, so I'm not gonna be too gentle with them. And once that, it should pretty much pop right out.
Is there one on the bottom?
Nope.
There it is. Oh, look at that.
As I have feared, there is just sand. It's literal sand. God. That's awful. Oh my goodness. Poor car, man. I don't know how it hasn't rotted out.
It looks like it was like holding part of the rocker.
I know.
It just moved there for a second.
Let me move this out of the way. Don't get it too. Maybe I should pull the other side.
I think so. Just gotta be a little more careful.
Well, I have clips, so. Jeepers. Prior to me coming here, I ordered a bunch of different style clips online. Found ones that'll work. They're not the exact ones that were there, but that doesn't really matter. So now it's just a matter of putting this guy back in here, lining everything up. And I spray painted in where all that sand was to kind of protect it. It was starting to rust out a little bit. And I don't really need this car rotting out on me just yet.
You're not sad again. Are you, splashgang?
We're just finishing up some customization there, but as you can see, we got the new fender liner in, and now hopefully it won't, I know it won't rub because the other side doesn't rub, so I'm gonna put the tire back on, get the car on the ground, and we're gonna start digging into that power steering pump. So we have the car not back on the ground, but we got the tire back on. I'm gonna check all of my lugs because the last time I took the wheels off and put them back on, I just ugga-dugga them. And when I took these off, I was able to just break them free with that and no extension. So I'm pretty sure none of these are going to be torqued to 65 foot-pounds, and we're going to find out right now. All right, so I guess it was just the driver's side that wasn't torqued to spec. Are you ready?
Yep.
Alright, so the first thing we have to do is take off this little shield cover. It's just two 10mm bolts, and it should, I don't think that's a 10 anymore. I think it
Downgraded to an 8.
So now that we have the old one out, what we had to do was completely remove this bracket by taking out these 4 bolts. There's one in the back, 2 on the bottom, and then the one holding it to the alternator. And then we were able to pull it all out. This really long bolt, I think it was like 3 or 4 inches long, we couldn't slide it out to then pull the pump out. Once we got it out and got it on the bench, we had to put this fitting back on, put this bracket piece back on, and then slide it back in to this housing, so we can now put it back in and tighten everything down, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so we got the pump back into place. We used a turkey baster and an extension to get rid of all the old fluid, and now I'm just hooking up the lines for the final step. And we're going to turn it on let it circulate. It comes pre-primed with fluid, so you don't have to worry about dry starting it. And I should have tightened that one down before I put this one on. So now I gotta undo this. These are two different sizes. One's a 12 and I think one's a 14, if I recall correctly.
That would be it.
Grab a 14. Slap it on there. These weren't too terribly tight, so I just snug them up. That one off. It wasn't too hard once we understood that we had to remove the whole bracket before we could undo that super long bolt in the back. If we would have figured that out originally, it probably would have been done by now. But you know, a 1 hour project usually turns into a 3 hour project. And that's just how it goes sometimes. All right, now we are going to throw the cap back on this and start her up. All right, so as you can see, this isn't the Subaru. As I was going through the footage and editing the video, I noticed that I didn't make an outro. I just kind of ended it when we installed the new pump. So we installed the new pump, there were no issues with it, and we got the car back together and everything was great. Not sure if the file got corrupted, but I remember making an outro. So this is going to be the outro. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and stay tuned for more videos to come. As you can probably see, there's a sneak peek to what we're doing on this, but you'll have to wait and see in the upcoming videos how it got back in the garage and on jack stands.